You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 371 of the Batter Herons Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir? And you're on mute, sir. I can't hear anything you're saying.
That's better. I'm doing decent. I'm doing decent. That's what you get out of a tie. So I'm good with that.
Well, this was the game that we thought that we had to win because it's going to be a lot harder. And judging off of today's performance, definitely going to be harder beating the other two teams. But
Yes.
rough first half, much better second half. Couldn't find the back of the net. Ustari, by far the MVP of the team. El Charanwe, or however you say the goalie's name, he saved their ass in the second half, especially at the end of the game. And Ian Frey with that last save at the very end of the game where the little bit of gas that he had left,
He wasted it.
wasted it all right there on that last run. A lot to get to, but let's start with Ahly home game.
Yes, basically. I mean, they couldn't be any further from the stadium. We couldn't be any closer to the stadium. And this was a complete red fest in that stadium.
Yeah, it was wild. I wasn't expecting there to be that many fans.
I
Mo
took
was with
pictures.
us.
You want me to upload them here?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Pictures of what?
Of the screen, like of the amount of fans that there were. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Oh. All
You
right,
were saying about Mo?
No, he said that he thought that maybe we did get like 5,000 or so. They got a lot more than 5,000 out to that stadium.
Yes.
My brother went to the game and he even sent me this picture. Look at the car that they were driving in. Look at the license plate says Ahly. Like they were repping today. So shout out to them if any of them are listening. They represented quite well today. A lot of red in that stadium. But I have a feeling that after today, although we got a point, right? So we're not going to go pointless. Everybody thought that we would get our butts kicked. We didn't get our butts kicked. We got a point.
Nope.
But I feel like both of these teams, their fan bases are probably feeling a lot less optimistic about getting out of this group stage at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, they both think that the opposite team is the inferior team, not just in terms of versus each other, but in terms of this entire group. So the fact that you matched up 0-0 and came out with 1 point, it doesn't show the best in terms of the expectation, right?
Yeah. All right.
And
Good.
the next game that we play is in Miami as well, no?
No, it's in Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, and then the next one is in New Jersey.
No.
Where?
We play in Atlanta on Thursday against Porto, and then we play next Sunday against Palmeiras here at home at Hard Rock again. So we play in Miami again.
And Palmeiras showed up in New York.
Yeah, they took over at Times Square. Oh, they're gonna take over the Hard Rock next week. That's for sure.
Goodness. What a disaster.
Okay, but general thoughts. Before we get into the specifics, general thoughts. I thought we would win because we would be pressing them. Ahly looked, just like Mo said, they cannot handle the pressure. They constantly kept giving away the ball, but they were playing so deep that even when we won the ball in the midfield or even in our own third, they still had 4 or 5 guys back there to defend. So we still had a hard time creating. But the first half wasn't pretty. Ustari definitely saved us. And in the second half, I really thought that eventually we would. I thought we were going to win. I really thought that we would get one eventually, especially in the way the second half was playing out. But a tale of two halves for both teams. And I would assume that Ahly feels a lot worse about this draw than we do right now.
Yeah, especially with the amount of opportunities that they had, clear
And with
cut,
the penalty
right?
kick.
And then on top of that, not only with the penalty kick, which Ustadi was phenomenal on, but the fact that your best player, right, gets off the game, 15, 20 minutes into it, they're basically they're 10.
I think it was 13 minutes in.
Yeah. So you lose one of your better players early in the game, which is a shame because you're not getting them at their best. But it was, look, it's a failure. I don't want to say it's a failure because you walk away with a point, but both fan bases are not happy.
The way that, I mean, I obviously I wanted to show them respect, best team in Africa, but the way everybody was hyping up Al Ahly, after watching them now, and I know that they have a new coach and things like that, but do you feel like they are far and away better than Inter Miami?
No, I don't think that they're far and away better.
And I'm curious what the chat thinks also, because I feel like a lot of people, the way they were talking about us getting blown out, I feel like a lot of people were expecting this game to go much different. After watching it, I don't think that they're far away better. Obviously, they do have a lot of international players that play for Palestine and for Egypt and things like that. But I wouldn't say that they are far and away better. And I also think that Miami, I don't know, they had Segovia playing out wide. They started Redondo instead of Kremaki. And I know we're going to get into that when we get to the starting 11, but I think there was a lot of things that we could have done better also. And not having Jordi Alba is always a negative.
Yeah, and especially since he's one of our bigger playmakers other than
shout
Messi.
out to Owen. This is a fair take. Depends on what half you're watching.
Well, I'll tell you this much. This right here is the picture I wanted to show you. Look at that. I mean, look at that. This is in Miami-Dade County.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. That's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. All right. I guess that was general thoughts. Let's go ahead and get to the starting lineup. So here's the starting lineup. How did you feel about the starting lineup?
So I felt good. I don't like Falcon. And the first half definitely shows why we finally found out why Falcon is really Falcon.
I thought he had a decent game.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. I think that Aviles, just because he got the yellow card.
Aviles should have gotten a red card.
Oh, for sure. He should have been booked out of the game by the 40th minute.
The ref was being very lenient with both sides for a lot of the tackles that were happening.
I would have preferred Kremaski instead of Redondo.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have gone with. I think when it comes to Segovia and Allende, that's going to stay the same. That doesn't change ever, typically. I just don't like when Segovia is playing the wing and then you replace him with Kremaski playing the wing. Just doesn't feel right. You just could tell that it's not good.
Were you surprised at all with any of the decisions, though? Martinez wasn't available. I mean, I think that this was the only center back pairing available, unless you put Ryan Saylor out there.
Well, but that's the thing, right? I had a feeling that at some point Falcon or Aviles was going to be subbed out and Ian Frey moved over as the center back, and then Wade Gaunt would be the sub in. Exactly what happened. Yes.
I love seeing Ian Frey playing center back. I wish he would get more opportunities at center back, even though I think he plays a good right back. But I think Cello's finally getting some respect. I think people are starting to respect him, right? I haven't seen anybody kill him in the chat. He came in and he made an impact immediately. I think Cello is a good right back. And I like Ian Frey at center back. All right, so no surprises. Go ahead.
No, and Allen didn't do that bad either. He tried to push it up when he can. He recovered well on defense, so...
I think they were keeping Ian Frey honest in the first half with who was it? Yeah, who was their forward out on the left side. But Ian Frey had a hard time pushing up because he had to constantly worry about that guy that was pushing into the space that he would leave behind whenever he pushed up. It was a track meet. Inter Miami was pressing high, just like Mo said. And the reason I thought that we would eventually score, we were pressing high. We were being very aggressive with the press, but that led to one after another counterattack after counterattack after counterattack. And Ustadi had one hell of a game, especially the first half.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look, Ustadi impressed everybody. Who would have thought that he'd be this? I mean, he's a good goalie, right? But like, he was out there blocking shots, like, he was really stretching himself. Not expected like how Drake Callender did, right? Because you see both sides of the coin with those types of goalies. But yeah, man, Ustadi had a hell of a game.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
Now,
so
as far as, well, I mean, I need to grab my tablet real quick, but there's really no way to go through the game. Like, there was no goals, right? I mean, there were key moments here and there. And Troy with a super slam here, Danny. And shout out to Troy. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. We win if Alba is on the field. Keep Frey at center back. And let me tell you, center back, Ian Frey at center back is not bad. I mean, it's not a bad choice either. But we're so pressed for center backs at this point. So I think it was a good move to bring on Weigand and move Frey over, especially when you have Aviles on yellow card watch. So as I'm going to grab my tablet real quick, Danny. Just give me 1 second.
Well, in the first half, like we thought they would press high, and they did press high, which I don't see why they didn't start Kremaki. I think Kremita would have been perfect for that. You could have played with the single pivot. They obviously didn't respect Ahly in their counter or their attack at all, because they were playing a high line. They were being extremely aggressive. So they showed no respect to Ahly. And at first it showed, right? Because Ahly just couldn't, even when they had opportunities, they couldn't get him on goal. Ustadi eventually had to make some saves, but they showed no respect. And if you were going to play that way, you should have played with the single defensive midfielder in Busquets, and you should have let Kremaki play centrally with Segovia like they did in the Columbus game. I felt like that would have been the best play. I think that we would have looked much better if you have Kremaki out there the whole game. Hell, even Fafa. You have Fafa out there, running out there. So I was disappointed, but the first half played out like we thought it might. Pressing high, leaving ourselves susceptible to the counter, and they just couldn't convert.
Well, you know what I like about Fafa coming in at the second half, though, Danny, is that for some reason, whenever he comes on, there's always opportunities all over the place. He's always like in the right place most of the time. Fafa?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like whenever he gets, look, the thing is Fafa starting, I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be a good idea because he's a winger. So naturally you'd want that. But at the same time, because, Segovia to me is a better player than Fafa. But if you're not going to play Segovia in the middle of the field, then I guess Fafa would be the better start, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Can I address something real quick? Because I see that it's like he's sprinkling in here and there, and I get it. It looked like a home game for Ahly, but yeah. I just want to put something to bed real quick. Usually, stadiums allot a section or at least an area for supporters to sit together. FIFA didn't do that for the Inter Miami supporter groups for this game.
Yeah.
So they forced Inter Miami fans or supporters groups to kind of spread out, unfortunately. All right. So I wanted to start by one thing, saying for anybody wondering why the supporters group, there wasn't like a big pink section. They didn't give it to them for some reason, which I thought was very disappointing. A very poor job by FIFA.
Oh, it was huge. A bad job. Really bad job.
And then second, for everybody that's saying, oh, but Inter Miami fans should have been there. Initially, these prices were ridiculously high. Now, Ahly fans that are here in the United States are willing to pay that because they never get to see their team. Why on earth would I overpay 3 or 4 times what I'm usually paying to see this team play in a small stadium every weekend to go see them in a football stadium? It made no sense. Now, yes, over the last week, they finally cut the prices, and then people started purchasing tickets. But there's reasons as to why that stadium we weren't represented as well as we should have been. And one was the big fail by FIFA, not giving the supporter groups their own section so that they could sit together. And two, the ticket prices. And Pedri, I see that he is somebody that's a diehard. I'm assuming Barcelona fan. So shout out to you for supporting Barcelona. I hope that you've at some point been to Barcelona, Pedri, because if you're one of those people that's a diehard Barcelona fan but have never actually been to Spain, I mean that's interesting.
And he doesn't speak Spanish because he tried get on our podcast in Spanish. They doesn't understand anything. So I don't get it. Listen, we could see this team. We've seen this team repeatedly in a smaller stadium, like you said. The worst seat at Chase Stadium is going to get you a better view than a decent ticket at Miami Dolphins Stadium.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there just because I know people are dying to just throw some shade at Miami. So I just figured I'd put that out there real quick. All right. So again, first half, Chris. Toto Aviles, the first yellow.
Yeah.
I thought was
it could have been called. It could have been called either way. I mean, it was a competitive tackle.
Yeah,
it was a competitive tackle. So I think it could have been called, but it also could have been held back a little bit. But for the most part, the thing is, it seemed too sudden of a tackle, and that was really cool that the refs had that little camera that you can follow, and they had to call it. So.
You know what's funny is I was watching Franco on. You got to tell me the name. I always forget because I always get confused.
Miami Total Football Radio.
Okay. So I was watching them, and Jose Armando was on there, and he was talking about this camera that they're gonna have. And apparently, what they had said is that camera would be used for the TV to give you some better views. But if there was a controversial call, they were not obligated to show you that view. So like they would pick and choose when they use that camera, which I thought was really interesting.
That's kind of sucky, pick and choose.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, look, it was a good call, I guess, in the moment for the ref. Obviously, if you look at it once or twice, then you can be able to say maybe something that shouldn't have been called. But at the same time, Aviles has that reputation. It was early in the game. So, and then Edmundo is saying that camera lacked anti-shake badly. It did, but at the same time, like,
for sure.
I imagine that they're trying to like incorporate it. So I don't know. As far as the starting recap is concerned, as far as like the recap, right? There's no goals. All there is basically there was a little bit of a back and forth. Did you think that Ahly was dominant in the beginning of the game?
I thought that they were.
I felt like they were.
I
felt like
they were much more dangerous. They had a lot more opportunities. I feel like they made the most of their opportunities. So that's what I'll say to that. I feel like they made the most of their opportunities because although I felt like Miami would force them into turning over the ball, once they would receive the ball, they, like always, they have a hard time breaking down a low block. So that was the disappointing part. But I mean, well, like I said, we kind of expected that.
Well, and is this correct? Portal Chaser saying we should have been down 0-3 at half. Like, if you're considering, obviously, like there's no free goals here, right? Or the reason that the goalkeeper position exists is to stop people from scoring. So, like, I don't want to say it should have been 0-3 because they were doing good, but at the same time, 0-3 in the beginning of the game, that's bonkers.
Well, there was the two shots that they tried to go far post, and Ustari was able to get a hand on, and then the penalty, which, by the way, I get that Telasco Segovia ran into him.
Yeah.
But before he did that, and I get it, he fouled him in the box. But, man, that guy had the horrible touch, and he sent the ball really wide, and he was about to go running after the ball. So I get it that he knocked them over inside the box. But, man, that was rough, seeing as how the ball was nowhere near him, and there was no danger of any scoring opportunity there because he had – that touch sent the ball away so far that I was like, there's no way he's going to get to that ball. But I get it. He made contact and the guy fell. So, yeah, okay, penalty and fouled in the box. I get it, but I felt like that was a little soft.
I've noticed the same thing. Simon's saying, yes, Segovia has to stop that. I've noticed that Segovia does those kind of tackles, like running in from behind and kind of like shouldering or extending his arms. And really, it's like an unnecessary, foul call. But I have noticed that he does tend to do that. Now,
I know you're gonna hate me for this,
what?
but I'm gonna get into it anyway because Pedri's sucking me in.
I know. That's why I'm trying to avoid him. He is literal quicksand, poison quicksand.
I feel bad for Pedri because he needs the attention, so I'm gonna give it to him.
Well, he needs the attention. He doesn't.
I'm gonna give it to him. Just real quick. Let me just do it quick. He keeps talking about Miami fans and things like this.
Americans.
Miami basically, Miami's in their 5th year of existence. I saw Marasovic for some reason co-signing him. Marasovic, come on, saying that Barcelona would create their own section. You know when Barcelona had their 5th year of existence? In 1904. Do you think they had a hardcore fan base back in 1904? This is a young team. Give it time. When we're celebrating 125th anniversary like Barcelona is, we might have some hardcore fans also. We're 5 years in. Relax. And yes, Pedri, I know you can't follow player in the box. I'm just saying that the ball was nowhere near him.
Well, and we got a shot. We got a super slam here from Edmundoto. Bang! Bang! Ahly makes South/Central American diving look like kindergarten. These guys were breakdancing all game. They were. I mean, they were. I don't want to say they were flopping. You know what, guys? Is Pedri the new Arsenal? Yes or no?
Arsenal guy?
Yes.
So getting back to the game, the first half, like I said, we were pressing high. I thought Kremaki would have been a lot more effective in those high presses. He also does a better job of getting back defensively. I thought Redondo was kind of invisible in the press and defending. I know Segovia gets a lot of slack for not doing anything, but he's out of position. And when I see him centrally, when he did get the ball centrally, I thought he did have some clean passes over to Messi. But again, we have a hard time breaking down that compact low block. So, it's just what it is.
I think this game, I think it could have been played better, especially better in the midfield. I feel like it could have been developed better to Messi. I feel like Redondo didn't do what was needed. I felt like his touches were kind of bad. His defense wasn't the greatest. Even though Ben Krem doesn't have the best touch, I feel like it would have been able to give a little bit of more flexibility to Busquets, maybe. I don't know. I think that things could have been done a little different with the personnel.
What were you feeling at halftime? Because at halftime, at that point, it was 0-0. We felt like they should have, like somebody said, they probably should have scored 3 times. Ustari finally had some juice going. And when he saved that PK, I felt like going into the half, even though we didn't look great, I thought that, at least I felt pretty good once going into the half at 0-0.
So you felt good about being tied?
Yeah, because I felt like they threw their best punch at us, that we would get into the half and we would regroup. I was hoping that Mascherano would change something. And coming into that second half, you could tell that we looked better. We came out and we were a lot more aggressive and we were creating chances. I also think that we benefited from their best player going out in the first 13 minutes. Who knows how differently things play out that first half if he doesn't go out in the 13th minute.
So Antonio Collado is saying we were missing key players. We played a stronger opponent, and we got a hard-fought clean sheet. I'm good with that result.
Yes, that's a fair assessment. But looking at big picture, where everybody was, maybe we could figure out how to get out of this group. I think that all goes out the window. I think that all goes out the window once we didn't get these 3 points, because, and I would hope, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I would hope that we wouldn't play this style of game against Palmeiras or Porto.
I would hope not. I would hope that we keep it a little bit more central, because we kept trying to work the sidelines. It all depends on the personnel on the field. As far as first half, how did I feel at the half? I felt good because you could tell that Ahly isn't a pushover team. They do have skill. They were pretty good. But I felt like we could have done better, considering that we were going to start the second half with maybe some changes, because I knew that Aviles was going to come off. I knew it. Did you know Aviles was going to come off or no?
Yeah, he had to. Yeah. I wasn't sure what he was going to do. I wasn't sure if we were going to see Ryan Saylor, if we were going to see somebody move to fullback. I don't know why I didn't consider him moving Frey to center back. He never does it, so I didn't think he would finally do it. I'm glad he did. But yeah, I didn't. He couldn't stay out there. He should have gotten that second yellow card. He got very lucky.
Yes, and so luckily we went to the half. I felt good at the end of the half, and I felt like we were gonna have a better second half. I want to mention something here, and shout out to Kara, shout out to you. Okay, you are the man. You say, did you guys see how much Boosie lost the ball or gave it away? He's been doing it all year, but man, almost gave me a heart attack. Shout out to you. This is for Pedri Potter. Read this, Pedri, because you think that your Barca people are so great. Okay.
No, don't go against the Barca players just because.
No, but at the same time, we have to recognize like the real deal. But Busquets did have a couple errors in the game. I mean, what are we going to do? We're just going to glaze right over that?
You know what's odd? I went on to try to find the statistics for today's game.
You can't find it anywhere.
No, that's really weird.
Can't find it anywhere.
So no website is scoring the game, because I wanted to see how many pass attempts there were. Shot, like they have general stats. Like I could find how many shots were on target and stuff like that, but that's very weird.
Maybe you can be able to go to the FIFA website. That's probably where you're going to have to go.
That's very odd. The only statistics they gave you is ball possession, which Miami had 55%. Total shots, they were tied at 11. Shots on target, 8-6. Ahly had 8. Fouls committed, 11-10, which is very close. Ahly 11, Miami 10. 2 offsides for Ahly, and then 10 corners for Miami, 4 corners for Ahly. That's it. Statistic-wise, you'll find nothing else just about anywhere. That's very great. That's interesting. Well, SofaScore also doesn't have it. I looked at SofaScore.
According to this, there were 2 forced turnovers for Ahly and 1 for Inter Miami. As far as passes, Inter Miami had 266 and 133 goes to Ahly. So we had double the amount of passes. So I mean, and one more goes saying it right here. Ustadi stopped 8. Give that man a medal. Absolutely.
Oh, no. They're right. SofaScore doesn't have it. You guys are right.
SofaScore does have it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Shout out to Ill. I mean, I'm hoping that's what it is. Ustadi with a 9.7 ranking by DMX question mark. Nice. Okay. So, I mean, I think that starting the second half, I felt better. I felt like we were going to do better, which we did. I think we were finally getting into the game. So,
yeah. All right. Second half. Messi had a few shots on goal. I felt like even though we were creating more opportunities in the second half, nothing really. We really got dangerous those last, I want to say, 10 minutes?
Yes, we did get dangerous.
Those 10 minutes, I thought for sure we were going to score.
We showed a lot of attempts, and then I'll tell you this much: the way that they work Noah Allen in on the left side, I think it's really good. And I think if he would have been able to have a couple opportunities to cross it, it would have worked out well.
You know how you always say that you hate draws, especially 0-0 draws?
Yeah.
Wasn't this an entertaining 0-0 draw?
It was. I'm not gonna lie. It was.
It almost felt like a track meet, no? Like it felt like it was just constant. Go ahead.
No, you were gonna say?
No. It constantly felt like constant. Like Miami would try to find a way to build up the play. They would across a dangerous pass, a shot off mark, whatever it may be, and then Ahly was running the other way, and it just felt like it was like that back and forth. Then Miami would get it back. They would try to build up the play. Ahly running the other way with it, and it was just really interesting. Luis Suarez, because somebody blamed Luis Suarez for the loss. I don't know if I would blame Luis Suarez for the loss. I mean, he wasn't great. I did see I did feel he was tracking back for the ball quite a bit. It definitely wasn't our best game.
It wasn't our best game, but at the same time, considering that we've never played this opponent or this class of opponent, right? I imagine that the team didn't know too much about
well, I mean, we haven't played so many Mexican teams, I guess, but I think that I would take a top Liga MX team over this team.
You would?
Yeah. I'd take a Club America over this team, a Cruz Azul over this team.
So you think that a team in Liga MX would be better than this team?
I'm sorry? Yes.
You think
a top team, yes.
Yeah.
A top, like a Cruz Azul that just won the Champions Cup. I would take them, yeah.
Yeah, but this Ahly team has won championships over the past couple years. I mean, I imagine that the competition that they play isn't the greatest, but I mean, they are the tippity top of their division.
Yeah.
So,
and then Raul Rojas said that he was at the game and it was a crazy atmosphere. It looked fun. I kind of wish I would have been able to be out there.
Well, and I imagine that the fans for Ahly, I mean, they showed out and we saw it.
Yeah.
People that I know and people that Danny knows were at the game and they were out there, the Ahly fans. So I imagine, I mean, there was a point where they were singing like this song, Ahly, Ali, Ali, Ali. Like they have these songs that they could be able to sing throughout the stadium. It sounded like thousands and thousands of people were like in unison singing this stuff.
Yeah. Pedri Potter. I wish I knew how old Pedri Potter was, because Pedri Potter, to me, he has to be like 13.
Yeah,
the way he speaks, be like 13.
Yeah. Pedri Potter. I would love to interview Pedri Potter. And then,
Well, that's how we did with Solana, right?
If you're of age. Yeah.
That's what we did with Solana. We brought him on here. Where was Siege? I guess you were not on here when we first started the show. I was telling everybody that FIFA didn't allocate a supporter section for the supporter groups. So the supporters were there, but they were scattered throughout the stadium. And it sucks. So they weren't able to sit together in a group. Even though Marasovic says that Barcelona fans would have figured out a way to all sit together. Because Barcelona fans are far better than us.
Far superior. I mean,
intellectually, yeah, they can figure out how to sit together.
We got a super slam here from Este Vikiki. Daniel, ese corte te quedó fresh. Jaja, saludos.
I think I know who that is. Gracias. Shout out. All right. So, that Falcon header? No, was it the Fafa header? That the keeper barely got a finger on?
Yeah, he barely tipped it right over the bar. Yes. Towards the end where we had like 45 corners.
Yeah. That was one of the most dangerous plays right there.
No, you were going to say?
That was one of the most dangerous opportunities. And then it looked like, was it Falcon that had another header where I thought that the keeper saved it and it ended up hitting off the top of his head.
Yeah, Falcon is the one that almost had a header go in. I mean, look, Allende almost had a shot that could have gone past the goalie, but luckily the defense came right in front of him. He didn't have a clean look at it, and the goalie caught it right into his chest. Yeah, I mean, Ken Kaneki is saying Fafa fumble big time. And right here, Mitch is saying the Falcon header hit the keeper in the head.
I know. Look, both teams got lucky with that draw because both teams had great opportunities to score, but those keepers both came out and did their thing. And yes, and I was going to get to that. And Christian right there. Would there have been a better way to start off the inaugural game of this tournament than with that kick by Messi that looked like it was going in? It was curling. It was dropping right into that corner. And the keeper got his fingertips on it. And, man, that would have been just that would have been very Cruz Azul-esque for that first Leagues Cup game. That would have been so perfect. I was so disappointed when I saw the replay that it didn't go in.
So I wanna bring up Pedri Potter's comment because he finally is starting to decently contribute. Just erase the last part of the sentence next time, okay, Pedri? Apart from Messi, did anyone perform in this match creatively and attacking wise? So this is a good question, though. This is a good question. Do you feel like somebody contributed creative wise or attacking wise? I feel like Allende stretched the field like he typically does, and he's not American, Pedri. I feel like Allende had pretty good looks.
No, I didn't think
Segovia's a ghost at the wing. Segovia's a ghost.
I mean, Chelo. I thought Chelo had a good game. And I know that people might give him crap for sailing the ball over the crossbar, but I mean, he's not really a finisher, but he took the shot. He wasn't scared to take it. I will tell you one thing. Inter Miami play. We're missing John Mota. We're missing Matias Rojas because there were a few opportunities where I felt like players were approaching the top of the box and they had nobody pressuring them and they wouldn't take a shot. And Segovia was one of the main ones because Segovia, there was a point where he was central, he was pushing the ball up, and I felt like he had all the space in the world. And instead of taking the shot, he does what a lot of people criticize a lot of Inter Miami players for doing, and then he found Messi, top of the box, next to him, but with 2 or 3 men marking him. Yes. And props to Messi because I believe somehow he ended up getting a shot off anyway. Yeah. But we got to grow some balls here. Like, you take the shots. Like, Ian Frey took one that I was like, oof, maybe not the best shot, but you know what? I respect it.
He tried it.
Because if you don't take it, you're not going to make it. So we need somebody to step up. Messi's got to talk some. Like, he needs to go ahead and do what he did to James and make some of these guys cry. Like, what are you doing? Like, take a shot when you got it. And
Pedri saying Allende just making runs, you call that creativity. It's you asked creativity and attacking wise. He helps spread the pitch for the team, for the teammates. So, and yes, Jack Carr, Allende's first touch was poor. There were a lot of times in the box where his first touch was abysmal. And Brian Fink, yes, we miss Gomez too. Okay. One goal saying Frey is good, but seems a bit scared lately. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see it was scared. Listen, it can't be scared if he's trying a shot with the left foot from that distance.
And I will say, the one world, one goal moment of the match was Ian Frey, that last play, where all of a sudden, corner after
everybody
corner,
quit.
We're gonna score. Everybody's gassed, and all of a sudden they get one last counter. And there you get Ian Frey hauling ass, saving that play, and then just collapsing. That right there, shout out to Frey for that, because that right there, that would have been quite the heartbreak to lose in that fashion.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just dumb. Ian Frey taking that shot, that's not dumb. He had space in front of him. Pedri. Nobody else is taking it, Pedri.
If nobody else is taking shots, somebody has to take a shot.
at the end of the game, Danny, when they allowed the counter to play out, my son and I were literally sinking into the seats that we were watching the game in. Oh
I
my
really
goodness.
thought this is going to end this way.
This is it. This is
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Because everybody's gassed. Who's going to get back on defense? And luckily, Ian Frey stepped up and did that. So if he doesn't do that, who knows how? Maybe Ustadi has a great save to end the game. But I'm glad we didn't find out what happened because Ian Frey came back, tracked back, and did that. So shout out to him. And one more flower to give to Ustadi. I know we talked about it already, but man, for him to, because everybody's like, oh my God, we're going to get scored on. I mean, he sucks at PKs. That's what it was that I kept seeing on the Discord.
Yes.
He stepped up, and then that corner that he blocked, where it was to his left, to the bottom left, the reflexes to block it, and then Falcon to clear it afterwards. Ustadi had one hell of a game. We've been killing him because he has looked very poor over the last month, but maybe that's what he needed. He needed 2 weeks off because he had the 2 weeks off and he looks rejuvenated. That he had by far the best game that he's had all season long.
Absolutely. This is the best game. Kata is actually saying, I'm going to Palmeiras game. That's going to be good. Palmeiras game is going to be really
If
good.
you thought that Inter Miami was outnumbered today, wait till Brazil takes over that stadium.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be wild. I think that it was a really great game for Ustadi. And Soccer Daddy saying Ustadi is going to rise more. Let's hope so. And look at this. Scotty One is saying Messi tracking back at the end. I didn't see Messi. He wasn't up ahead, but he also ran back. He was like, oh, we can't lose this one.
And there was another one, not that one. There was another one where I don't know if it was a free kick or what, but for some reason it was a quick counter, and he was one of the three in the back tracking back, and he was hauling.
He was like a right back.
Yes, he was hauling ass. So Messi's taking these games seriously. He wants to perform well, and like Pedri said, this team will go as far as Messi takes them, and I do believe that, because Messi is obviously the best player on this team, and we play through Messi. So if he's having a good game, we have a chance. If he's having a poor game, we won't.
Look at this, Danny. Who would have ever thought that we'd have a good Pedri and a bad Pedri?
Well, when you put up a Pedri comment, I looked at the little yellow picture he has because I was wondering if he wrote his real name. But no, he has the Barcelona Pedri Gonzalez on there.
Of course. He just, that's one of his 4, what is it, burner accounts with a Pedri in the front. I mean, come on. Esteban Dito, we need you to hunt for this guy, okay? Dominican Republic is giving Mexico a nice football fight in the Gold Cup opening football game, 0-0, 35th minute. That's actually pretty good. And then Ken is saying, I couldn't believe seeing Messi tracking back so hard. Kudos.
And shout out to Ken. I believe it was Ken. I just got to recognize the picture on Twitter because I put that, was it Dazen or whatever that thing's called? Yes. I was talking to Chris before the game, and he's like, no, you got to download this app because that's the only place you could watch the game.
But you got to make an account.
I started watching the game there, and they don't show replays. Like, there's no replays. And then I wrote that on Twitter, and Ken, I believe it was Ken that replied, hey, man, on TBS, they're showing all the replays. And then I realized they were giving the game on TBS and Univision. You had me download this app for no reason, Chris.
I didn't know it was on there. It's everywhere I looked. It's Dazen. I don't even know what Dazen is. This is the first time I've ever used that channel or thing, Dazen.
I'll never use it again. There were absolutely no replays. And then somebody also commented like, yeah, but if you pay for the premium, they'll show you the replays. Like, what? What kind of scumbag thing is that? How much
the premium? It's terrible, the amount that they're charging for premium.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, Esteban saying doesn't want you to pay premium to get the extra benefits. So we'll see about that. Oh, so it's called The Zone. It's not Dazen. Well, you know what's funny is they said The Zone. I thought that they had it wrong. So is it like the Discovery Zone? Get it? You don't remember Discovery Zone?
I never went, but I've heard about it. Yeah.
You're absolutely terrible. Soccer Daddy, who pays for the premium package for DAZN with premium 5.1 Dolby surround sound. And Rubita saying DAZN never played on my TV. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I used the DAZN app. Sorry. So what did you think about the game just in total now that we're kind of done recapping exactly how it went down? Are you happy with a 0-0 draw?
No, I'm not happy with it because I felt like we needed 3 points to have any hope of getting out of this. This group. I'm sorry, I gotta stop looking at the chat. I'm gonna take this off.
No, you have to take. You just stop.
I just took it off.
I'm
sorry, but I'm not gonna. His thing is in yellow, so it stands out. It's very.
I know it does. It's so terrible. You're so terrible. But stick around.
Any opportunity to get out of the group just went away. I felt with the draw, so that's disappointing. I felt like we're lucky to get a point the way the first half went, even though we also had our opportunities. Messi looks like Messi, which is always great to see. I feel like if we have any opportunity to be competitive in the next 2 games, we need to come out with a different game plan. We can't be playing this aggressive high line, and I respected it, and I didn't mind it this game because I also didn't respect Ahly, which you could criticize me for if you want, but I didn't think that they were somebody that has, although they've dominated their league, to me, from what my understanding, from what Mo told us, they have by far and away the craziest budget in that league, and everybody else is kind of just beneath them. So I feel like, of course, their statistics are going to look good because they're beating up on all these bad teams. So I feel okay. I'm glad we didn't lose. I think I would have felt a lot worse if we lost. Obviously, right? We drew. We got a point. Yeah. Like there's going to be some teams that get kicked out of this tournament, and they're going to be with 3 losses, right? And we're not going to be one of those teams. So that's a positive.
So Solana out here, shout out to Solana. He's saying it's pronounced the zone.
Yeah, we had somebody already tell us that.
You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Yeah. And I mean, Pedri, like, oh my God, Pedri. These guys complain about everything. They won toys and free merch in the stadium, and now they're complaining about free football. Who's complaining about free football? We're talking about whether we have to download an app or not. I mean, this guy, I can't deal. Like, we need to figure out, Pedri, we need to interview you, see how much knowledge, and then look.
No, we I don't know if, in order to, I know this because I'm in the school system. In order to interview a minor, you need parental consent. So we're gonna have to contact Pedri's parents and get parental consent. Yeah, or guardian. Before because if anybody's under the age of 17, we can't just go ahead and put them on the show. So send us your parents' email. Yeah, so send us your parents' emails, Pedri. We'll email them a letter of consent, have them sign it, and then email it back, and then we'll see where we can fit you in.
We might send over a pack of Pampe. So that way you go wear it with your.
No, I don't think he wears diapers. I don't think he's.
Yeah, I think he wears diapers for sure. He wears diapers. Does Pedri wear diapers, chat?
Wow, yes or horrible. No, don't do that.
I mean, I'm just asking the question. I don't know.
I said that he's a minor. You're here saying he wears diapers.
If he wears diapers. I mean, look, all kinds of people wear diapers, Danny. There's old people. He could be 90 for all we know, wearing diapers.
All right. So I guess I think we kind of touched on it, but I guess I'll start all over. Standouts. Did anybody stand out to you? Messi creating out of nothing. Ustadi, obviously. Fafa making an impact somehow. Whenever he comes on, he somehow finds the ball and makes some type of impact. Didn't go in, but it could have and should have.
I'll tell you who stood out to me. The person that stood out to me is Chelo Wegan.
Chelo also, okay.
Chelo stood out to me. He came off the bench, played a solid second half, especially where tensions were high. So
I also think that Ian Frey looks really good at center back.
I mean, we've seen him at center back. We know that he's good.
When was the last time we saw him at center back?
Oof. I mean, I'd have to look back. I have it listed. Let me see here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look back and see when we saw him.
I mean, I think he might have played a couple minutes this year.
He hasn't started at center back, obviously.
Right. No, and he played the whole second half there, and I thought that he looked really good there. But I'm glad that he can be like a Noah Allen, right? That you can move him around from fullback to center back. Maybe we can stop using Lujan that way, and we can start using Ian Frey that way. I feel like that would be a positive, right? Because at this point, if you realize, Lujan isn't the only Swiss Army knife, Ian Frey could also do it, then let's start using Ian Frey.
Well, and I think one of the things about Chelo is that I feel like Mascherano is very comfortable with him because of his contribution defensively, and he's not really a risk.
And Mez is saying you guys said Ustadi was bad, and look what happened. Did he not look bad over the last month? Now, Mez, I can't go back and find all your chats, but I'm sure that there's a possibility that you might have agreed with us. But because we're the ones that are out here, it's a lot easier to call us out for it. But I remember a lot of people in the chat, I don't know if you were one of them, but a lot of people agreeing that Ustadi was playing very bad over the last 6 weeks. But yes.
I mean, he's saying, Mez is saying he was always good.
No, the last 6 weeks he was not good. He was very bad. And the last 2 weeks, having 2 weeks to rest, definitely helped. And yes, and then Busquets got a really dumb yellow just for talking crap to the
Luis Suarez too.
Yeah, that is one thing that I don't get. Like, they know that they can get yellows for this, and they just can't help themselves.
And then, according to the broadcast, they were saying you get 2 yellows and you're kicked out.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Like, that's it out of the whole tournament.
No, after the following game.
Oh, okay. I mean, if it's just the next game, then whatever. But I mean, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, those kind of yellow cards. So, I felt like this game was acceptable, but at the same time, not, because this is the team that we were expecting to win against or to have the best results against. So now we're going to be playing against 2 other teams who we know to be more competitive, right? And I mean, this is true, right? Dry Pink Dialogue saying unbelievably fun game to watch, which is the question that Danny asked earlier. It was a tie game, but it was entertaining. It was a back and forth.
Yeah, it's rare that we get an entertaining 0-0 draw, but this definitely was an entertaining game. And I really thought we were going to score in those last 10 minutes. When we had those 3 or 4 corners, when Messi had that crazy kick that almost dropped in the back of the net, just so many. I mean, the keeper literally saved it with his head, not even on purpose. It just hit off his head. It almost felt like a Lassiter shot. Like it's just so unfortunate, but almost.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you this much. Look, and I wanna. Okay, look, listen, Pedri Potter. I want to bring up one of your comments here. I saved it. I only try Inter Miami fans because the so-called true Inter Miami fans gatekeep the new fans who are trying to follow Inter Miami. This couldn't be further from the truth.
I mean, I don't know who you believe are the true Inter Miami fans, but us on here and most people in the chats, I don't know about all. I can't speak for everybody, but most are welcoming of all the fans. So I don't know who you've been talking to. I don't know who's gatekeeping, but there's no gatekeeping here. We said everybody come, and hopefully some people stay. So
yes,
I mean, if you want to go troll people because of that, you're on the wrong podcast, buddy.
Yes, and we have all fans of all kinds here. Old school fans that have just recently, followed us and hung out with us here in the chat. So we accept the plastics, Mr. Miami Knight is saying. Okay. Yeah. The more the merrier, baby. Let's go.
We'll talk about what we need to do to advance. But before we do have somebody coming on and joining us that was actually at the game. So let's bring him on here. What's going on, Solana? How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. I'm a little hot, a little sweaty still from the game, but
humid as hell outside.
Yeah, man, there was not a breeze at the stadium. Every once in a while we'd get a breeze. But let me tell you, man, I was surprised at how few Inter Miami fans showed up at the stadium. The stadium was like 70-30 with Ahly fans. I was expecting a bigger turnout from Inter Miami fans, but look, man, those Egyptian fans were out there. They were chanting for their team. And I thought it was a good game. I was listening to you guys on the way home. I thought it was a good game overall. Ustadi, I thought, showed out, was the best player for Inter Miami.
By far.
Excellent saves. I was with you. I'm with you, Danny. I thought that goal from Messi at the end was going through until that goal he saved it. It was unbelievable. It would have been.
Could you imagine that game ending that way? Oh my God!
I know,
and that would have been like
point.
League's Cup promoted for 40 years from now.
100%. I mean, 100%. And not only that, though, just the way that the game was, obviously the first 25, 30 minutes, Ahly had a couple of chances, and Ustadi made some big saves. Inter Miami, I thought, played great in the second half. I thought bringing in Chelo Wigan, I thought was a good idea. Moving Frey over to center back, I thought was a great idea. Look, Inter Miami did what they could do. And I think at the end of the day, they make $1 million by tying this game. I think that's part of the goal. Remember, for every point that you get $1 million. So, look, nobody thought that Inter Miami, everybody thought that they were going to get, completely embarrassed, and there's still 2 more games for that to happen. But I think they had a good start to the Club World Cup.
Do you have any question, Danny? Because I wanted to bring up Pedri's amazing message for you. Says, thank you, Solana, for representation Inter Miami in a stadium, unlike a bunch of complaining podcast guys. So
I wasn't complaining. I was explaining, which Chris Solana, I don't know. I think was it you that put it out there that they didn't give the supporter section a section, so they're going to be scattered within the. So I thought that was a horrible job by whether it be Inter Miami front office or FIFA, whoever it is, to not give the supporter groups a section because I mean they got lost in that sea of red.
100%. I mean. And that's a big fumble by the Inter Miami front office. It's their job to make sure that they get a section or a couple of sections of allotment for their fans, and they dropped the ball. Unfortunately, for Inter Miami fans, they, like you said, they were scattered all over the place. All you could get was an Inter with a 3 claps chant, and every once in a while there was an ole ole Inter chant, but none of the normal chants that we hear when we're at the stadium with La Familia. Another thing that I thought was weird is there weren't any drums or anything in the stadium. A couple of Ahly fans brought some tambourines, which I thought was interesting. They had some tambourines. It was a great atmosphere. I'll tell you guys that. It was a great atmosphere to be at. It definitely felt like an international game. It didn't feel like a friendly. It felt like an actual game. I thought it was a fantastic game.
Did you feel like Inter Miami got outplayed, or do you think it was like a 50-50? Because I thought it was a tale of 2 halves. Since you said you were listening to the show, you heard what I had to say. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a tale of 2 halves. I thought the first half, they didn't play that great, although they had a couple of chances in the first half, but they didn't play that great. And Ahly really had most of the chances in that first half. Thank God they don't know how to finish their chances. They are absolutely brutal when it comes to finishing the chances. The penalty, and I don't know if you were, I was hearing that you said in the zone they don't show instant replay, so you couldn't see the instant replay, but I didn't see what happened on the penalty either. I didn't even think it was a penalty, but it didn't even seem like they went to VAR.
Well,
no, they didn't.
The player had a bad touch, and he kicked it wide. Like, the ball was almost out of the box when Telasco Segovia ran into him. I get it. You run into him, you can call contact, you can call foul in the box. That's a penalty kick. I get it. But it's so soft because he was nowhere near the ball. That ball sailed. So I again, by the letter of the law, I guess you can call it, but I thought it was really soft because he was nowhere near the ball. He ruined that play himself by that horrible touch he took that sent that ball outside the box.
Absolutely. And look, big ups on Ustadi for blocking the penalty. I know a lot of folks say that that's not his strength. But hey, he guessed the right way, saved both shots. And that was huge for Inter Miami, right, guys? I mean, that would have been an absolute bucket of cold water, for a lack of a better analogy there. But to get scored on in the 43rd minute of the first half off of a penalty that was really soft would have just been absolutely terrible. And I didn't think they played that great in the first half. I thought Ian Frey, he had one good shot, but I thought he was a little out of control in the first half, trying to do some fancy moves for no reason.
He did.
and we just played a lot in the back, a lot to Peluca. For some reason, he was involved a lot in the first half. We played back and we didn't go forward. And I like the fact that we went forward in the second half. We got Suarez involved. We got Messi. They had a few nice touches. I don't know if you guys saw, but Suarez took both of those last corners. The first one that hit.
Oh, I forgot to bring that up. I love him taking the corners from the right side. I don't know why we don't do that more often. He's not going to be heading it home.
No. And it was a beautiful cross to Peluca to head the ball. I thought it was going in. Obviously, the goalie made a save that he didn't even think he was going to make.
No, it hit off his head.
So, I mean, I agree, Danny. I think Suarez should take the corners from the right side, let Messi take the corners from the left side, and maybe that will give us a better option.
Absolutely. I love that.
Or at least Segovia. Segovia is a good passer as well.
But I meant to bring that up, and I completely forgot, because before Suarez took those two, Kremaki took it, and he looked so lost. He didn't know what to do. He's like, should I center it? Should I give it to you, Messi, even though you have somebody by you? And then he ended up giving it to Messi, and then Messi played it back to Kremaki, and it looked like it was just disorganized. And then after that, I don't know if Luis Suarez called his own number, because the very next corner kick, he's like, forget this, I got it. And I was like, this is great. Keep doing this. From this right side, Suarez should always take the corner kicks.
I agree 100%. And I don't know if you remember the corner kick right before, the one where Messi hits that ball and almost goes in upper 90 on the right side. Suarez is standing over the ball on the left corner kick side, and he's smiling while Messi's walking over and Benjamin Kremaski is waiting for the ball. And I thought Suarez wanted to take it. He wanted to take it quick, but thank God he waited for Messi. It was definitely the right call. But you guys are right. Suarez has to take the corner kicks on the right-hand side. He doesn't do much just standing in the box. He doesn't jump. I mean, he's got the vert of basically like a credit card, right?
Yeah, no. Unless you're playing it out to the top of the box, which at that point, unless he's taking a shot, he's not going to do much with it. He should be taking those corners from the right side. Somebody said Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba's left-footed. I don't know how. It should be Suarez, in my opinion. It should be Suarez. Solana, any standouts to you outside of Ustadi and Messi?
Yeah, I thought Fafa had some good minutes towards the end of the game. He had a chance to score a goal.
Fafa always makes an impact when he comes on as a super sub. Always.
100%. And I thought he should have came on a little bit earlier for Tadeo Allende, maybe with 25 minutes left, 20 minutes. Tadeo looked a little bit slow in the second half. He had a lot of running in the first half. So he was definitely gassed by the second half. Again, I thought Suarez had an okay game. He, not a great game, but he had an okay game. He had some combinations. He had a couple of chances. But let me tell you who didn't have.
That's how I feel about Segovia.
Redondo, to me, did not have a good game.
No, Redondo was a ghost.
Busquets did not have a good game as well. He got a yellow card for dissent. I didn't really see what happened there. Suarez gets a yellow card every game for dissent. I mean, that's a given. How about Toto Aviles? An absolute awful game. Awful game as well. I didn't think
he should have been sent off.
He should have. That last foul in the first half, that was definitely a second yellow. He goes with his both feet at the player. I mean, what is he thinking on a yellow card?
Well, I was going to ask you who would get the que pena.
I think I have to go with Busquets because of who he is and what we're used to him doing. I think I have to give it to Busquets. To me, he had an absolute awful game. The center midfield to me was just inexistent for the team today. Really, we weren't playing through the center mids. We were playing out wide. I thought Noah Allen had an okay game, although he had a couple of mistakes. And Chelo Wigan, I think, had a solid game in the second half when he came in. He had a couple of really nice moves, a couple of really nice centers, good movements. Overall, the que pena to me goes to Sergio Busquets.
But okay, so can we give the que pena to Mascherano? Because like you said, we didn't play through the center. Our center mids didn't exist because we had Busquets out there, which had a bad game, and Redondo, who was non-existent. You should have gone with Segovia and Kremaki as your flanking eights, right? Flanking Busquets down the middle. Like, it worked against Columbus. We were going to press high like we did against Columbus. Obviously, that was very obvious that's what we were going to do. Why not do that? Yes. So why didn't we go this route? And I felt like Mascherano, I don't know if he's like trying to force a square peg in a round hole with Redondo or what, but Redondo shouldn't have been out there for this game. I felt like Kremaki was that person to press high and to give us some, not only help in the attack, but Redondo didn't give us anything in the attack, and you know he's not going to track back to defend. So you're basically playing with 9. Kremaki at least gives you that effort, that energy. If he goes up and he is unproductive in the attack, I promise you, he's hauling ass to defend. Redondo doesn't do that. So I felt like the fact that Redondo started was annoying. I was like, let me see how this plays out. But like you said, the midfield was non-existent. I don't know why he took so long to come off. I don't know. Redondo, he's been so disappointing to me. So disappointing.
I just don't think you can give it to Mascherano. You can't give the que pena to Mascherano. Yes.
No, but I meant in that aspect. But
maybe
I would give it to Redondo.
I would give it to Busi. And I've seen some people give it to Redondo in the chat, some people to Busi. Somebody gives it to Suarez. I don't know how, but
give it to the midfield. Give it to the midfield.
Absolutely. I thought Mascherano was okay with his subs. I thought he made a smart decision taking Toto Aviles out, putting in Wiegand. I thought he made the right sub, putting in Keremaski and taking out Velasco Segovia, also putting in Fafa. Maybe he waited a little bit too long, but overall, I thought Mascherano managed the game pretty well I mean, you got to look at Mascherano. He looks at the bench. He looks to the right over there when these guys are warming up. And it's like, who do I put in? He almost had to put in Ryan Saylor today. You imagine that? Ryan Saylor playing in a Club World Cup. That wasn't in your bingo card.
No. Obando would have played center back before Ryan Saylor. Yeah. Unfortunately, Ryan Saylor is just never going to get in.
I don't think Obando was on the lineup.
Yeah, he was.
He was on the bench.
He was on the bench.
Yeah.
Jason Osei, shout out to Solana. Saw him in front of the stadium before the game. Yelled his name. So shout out to you, Jason.
I said, what's up? I said, I saw him there outside the stadium. It's nice to see friendly faces around the stadium when you're out there working.
Since you went with Redondo, and I was going to go with Redondo, Danny, and Busquets, I wasn't going to go with Busquets, but I can understand why Busquets would be considered with the que pena. I guess I'll just go with somebody different, and I'll go with Aviles. I'm going to go with Aviles, que pena. Okay. I mean, he's out here blowing legs out and not caring. I love his intensity.
That first yellow, though, didn't you think that was a necessary foul? Because they were on the break. I thought it was necessary. That first yellow, I thought it was necessary.
I felt like there was a foul that I believe, I don't know if it was Falcón that did it or if it was Busquets that did it. I'm not sure. There was a goal-saving foul for sure that somebody did and got a yellow card for. It might have been Aviles.
And Falcón should get some credit for clearing that ball that Ustari saved off that corner, that header. I thought it was somebody was going to tap it in. And Falcón cleared it.
So I'll give Aviles the que pena. So 3 different que penas.
Let me ask you guys a question because you guys are watching the game on TV. Did they show the beginning of the game where they introduced the players in basketball format by one? Did they show that?
Yeah. Yes,
we didn't hear it. I didn't hear them announcing each player
because
the audio was awful.
Yeah, the audio was awful. Yeah.
No. But the way that they did it was cool, but the announcers, like the players, were not waiting for their name. They were just all walking out. No, no. For Ahly, they brought their announcer. They had their own announcer who was talking in Egyptian or Arab, or I'm sorry if I'm ignorant for not knowing the language, but he was talking in that language. And then also for Inter Miami, it was the normal Inter Miami guy who was absolutely awful.
Yeah, he's.
I thought because again the audio on the zone, was absolutely horrible, so you couldn't hear anything. But I saw the players going out, but I was like, man, they're walking out very fast. They're either being very efficient or they're not waiting for their name to be called. So from what you're telling me, they just weren't waiting for their name to be called. They were just walking out.
They were just walking out like if it was just a speed graduation.
Well, the first one to come out was Suarez, and the announcer said his name twice because he didn't come out the first time.
I just want to mention something before we move on to the next tip. Nice. Only 36 likes. Come on. This is definitely worse than people's Ronaldo skills, Redondo skills. Shout out to Alejandro. Please like and sub if you're still listening. Click the like button. It's free 99, guys. Come on.
You know what? Go ahead.
No, before you keep going, confirmation right now that Pedri is under 17. Aura farming is only used by teenagers. So this is a 12 to 16-year-old kid, for sure.
What is that? Can you explain it to me?
I don't know either.
I don't know what it is.
Aura farming.
I'm assuming Chris knows because I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely plays Roblox, and all these other kind of games.
Solana, I know you didn't like that basketball introduction, and I can't say I'm a fan of it. It's way too many players to introduce that way. But I see that they're trying their hardest to engage the American fan base.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to trick the American fan base, not really engage. And why I say trick is I think that they're doing these player introductions so that they could get certain reactions for certain players because people know the certain players. So if you just say the starting lineups at the beginning of the game, all 11, you're not going to get that reaction. But this way, when you say Lionel, Messi, you get the whole stadium chanting that.
Yeah.
Well, because we're the marketing capital of the world, no? Like we market individual players, and that's what they're gonna try to do. And so I see why they're doing it. I'm not a fan of it. Like I said, way too many players to do that. I think it's a waste, but I see why they're doing it. I mean, the Super Bowl used to do it that way until the Patriots ran out as a team in 2001, and all of a sudden they changed it. But they used to introduce the players like that in the Super Bowl, so I get it. But they're really trying to get that casual fan to kind of suck them in. I see why they're trying.
I think that the prices also didn't help to be able to get the casual fan into the stadium for such a big game here in the States.
Weren't tickets $4? I mean, I didn't see those tickets, but
I mean, that's if you're a Miami-Dade college, a student, you get a buy one get four for free, like $20 ticket.
And did you get to see any of do you know anybody that actually got those sales? Because I didn't see anybody talking about that either. Like I don't see where these. I was like, oh man, where are these cheap prices? I didn't see any of them. I don't know.
Me neither. I mean, I got a decent ticket for $100. I thought it was worth it to be at this. I thought it was a historic game, in my opinion, the first or the inaugural game of the first ever Club World Cup. So I thought $100 was fair enough. But I really didn't see anything cheaper than like $75.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything either. I saw something on Instagram where it said tickets going for $3.50. That's right, you read it correctly. The same price as a bag of chips.
Full blown lie.
I was like, what? Like it's ridiculous what people are writing out there.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm assuming we're getting close to the end here, but just want to put out there on Monday. Well, before we get into that, on Monday we're going to be coming on in the morning rather than this usual nighttime. So Herons and Garzas both Monday morning. Oh. So make sure that you tune in for that because we will be coming on at an unusual time. We'll post it on our Twitter just so you guys know. If you're driving to work, you could tune in. And if anybody else it's an early bird, then yeah. Or if not, whenever you wake up, feel free to go ahead and watch.
Hey, I will tell you this. There was a lot of Boca fans at the game. I see some folks mentioning La Doce and stuff like that. There was a lot of Boca fans. At one point of the game, they started chanting against River Plate, saying if you went down to the B, or if you don't jump up and down, that means you went down to the B. And all the Boca fans were jumping up and down. It was kind of funny that would happen at a game that neither team is participating at. But it goes to show you the amount of Argentinians and the amount of fans that are coming from outside of the country that are coming here to see their team. Because Boca and Bayern, Boca plays on Monday against Benfica, and then they play Bayern next Friday.
I think the Americas might be taking this, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Europeans are taking it as serious as we are, but I think the Americans are taking it much more serious than maybe the Europeans are. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I mean, Real Madrid brought Bellingham. They brought Mbappe, so we'll see. I see Akara asked if I was going to go to the Real Madrid game on Wednesday. I will not be. I will be out of town. So I will not be watching that game. All right. Oh wait, man of the match other than Messi. I think it's unanimous, right? I think we all have the
3,
same person.
2, 1.
Ustadi.
Ustadi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
it has
it.
to be. It has to be. Yeah, I think that's about it. Catch us on Monday morning. Any final words? Oh, wait. Happy early Father's Day to both of you and to any other fathers
And
out
to
there.
you.
Pedri, happy Father's Day to your dad. Go ahead. Any final words?
It's gonna be fun to cover, the team this week, considering all the games that are coming up, and it's gonna be fun times. So we're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch all the games tomorrow. The games start at 12 o'clock. You have a game every 3 hours. I think at 12, at 3, at 6, and at 9. Big game at 3. PSG Atletico de Madrid. So it's the summer of soccer has just kicked off, and I'm ready to go, baby.
Chris, I don't know why I got the mental picture of you twerking, and it's hilarious. And I also love that Pedri spells your name with a CH.
That I don't appreciate. Pedri, I do not appreciate that.
All right. And that is it. We'll be talking Porto on Monday morning. And on Las Garzas, we'll be recapping this game. And we'll be previewing the Porto and Palmeiras game Monday morning. So if you are, go ahead and join us. If not, catch us on the replay because we will be on early Monday morning. And I think that's it. Good first game, I guess, right? We got a point. We're not going to be one of those teams that just loses all 3 games. So that's a positive. And we have some hope. Do I think we're going to be Porto or Palmeiras? Not necessarily. But, if you play, let me ask you this. I'll ask both of you, and then we'll sign off after this. Do you guys believe that we're going to play a defensive game where we're just playing the counter against Porto and Palmeiras? Solana, do you think that that's how we're going to play?
I think so. I think Mascherano has shown when the other team is as good as you or even better, he kind of goes into that defensive mentality and tries to play the counterattack. Exactly.
Right.
So I think we're going to see something like that.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't respect Ahly, and that's why we didn't play like that today.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see that the next 2 games. Chris, you think the same?
This is what I was going to say right here. Palmeiras, yes. Porto, no.
Well, according to Eric, which is going to join us for the Palmeiras preview, he says that Palmeiras likes to play low block and play the counter. So we'll see. That'll be interesting.
Might be the
but
other way around.
I do think we're gonna play a much more defensive game against those two. And who knows? Maybe we'll get a little Messi magic. Who would have thought that he was gonna randomly take that shot from? I thought that was a cross.
Yeah.
When the ball left his foot, I thought it was a cross. And next thing I know, the goalie's getting a finger on it. The man it's wild. I'm so happy I get to watch him play. All right. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour and 18 minutes. Richard Rios is my guy. So I'm looking forward to watching Richard Rios. Not against Miami so much, but yes, I do want to watch him play. And we will be back Monday morning. So again, Monday morning, make sure you look out for us on Twitter. We will keep you updated. Make sure you hit that bell notification so that you get the notification when we do go live, but it will be Monday morning. So make sure that you look out for that. So until the next one, have a good one.
Hasta luego.